I recently saw a quote that said, "Lust asks what you can do for me, and love asks, what can I do for you?" And I was pondering that, thinking, is that true? In a sense, it's true. I hesitate with that because, i- in a way, it kind of paints that asking, "What can you do for me?" is negative and sinful. And I would actually see within the biblical story an invitation, first of all, to ask God, what can you do for me? But even at times to ask each other that, what can you do for me? But not out of a not out of a demanding sense, but out of an invitation to be vulnerable and to receive, and a sense of community with each other, a sense of dependence on God, realizing I need other people. I need someone outside of myself. And so I got to thinking about that and the nature of lust. And it's interesting, lust is always tethered to desires that we have. And just because we may have a desire that we're struggling with lusting after doesn't mean the desire itself is actually bad or is even sinful in the sense. Now we may have broken desires, like our affections may be misplaced at times, and so we have to channel those desires. For example, my wife and I were recently on an anniversary getaway, and we drove a 2024 VW Jetta the weekend that we were on our getaway. We had flown into a city, and it was a beautiful city, fall scenery, and we're driving this nice new VW Jetta. We drive a 2011 Honda Pilot, and currently the windshield is cracked because we live in Colorado, and the someone had rear-ended us a couple years back, and so the back panel on the door is kind of bent, and we were at a place financially at that time where we actually just pocketed the insurance money for some financial margin because everything works fine, but it looks kind of ugly a little bit. So there's an aspect of me that is desiring a VW Jetta. Oh man, it'd be so nice, as I was driving around. It'd be so nice to have one of these. And I found myself struggling with lust at times because, well, here, let me break down a couple things. First of all, that desire isn't, I don't think that desire was necessarily sinful. But I found myself thinking, like, this is actually misplaced because we're at the stage of family where we're at. We actually don't need a VW Jetta. We don't need another car really at all. We need a minivan instead of our Pilot. Our family is outgrowing. We're about to have our sixth child, and we can't fit in this Pilot anymore. And definitely not comfortably. It's not easy for my wife. Our whole family was on board getting the Pilot a few years ago. We were kind of tired of the minivan life, and so we thought, well, the SUV life. Well, now we need a minivan. So I should really be looking at getting a minivan. So it's this misplaced. No, that's not actually what we need, or where the design for our family, the best design for our family. So it's kind of this misplaced desire, but then lust adds this element of, I need that Jetta, and I need it now. And that's the demand that is always tethered with lust. When you start, lust taps into desires you have. And so you may need to understand, is that even a rightly directed desire? Or is it a misplaced desire? And then is there a sense of demand on this? I need it, and I need, that's what lust does. We're willing to go outside of God's design to get the thing that we believe we need. And maybe it's a right desire, but is it within God's design, the timing, the way that we have the desire fulfilled. God wants to fulfill our desires. He wants to do things for us and in us. And the difference between lust and love is surrendered, where I seek oneness with, first of all, Almighty Creator, and I seek a sense of unity with my fellow man. And I'm willing to hold my desires with an open hand and even evaluate whether they are rightly directed or not. Lust demands that the thing that I desire is something I need, and I need it now.